Welcome to the Transformation Institute's podcast for change. Here is our host, Omari Jahi Aton.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to the Transformation Institute podcast for change. I'm your host, Omari Jahi Aton. Welcome, everyone, to the show. My co-hosts are missing in action tonight. I know Will was trying to get on, and he was having some technical difficulties. And I know me too. Kim is her birthday tonight, so she won't be on tonight. I don't know what happened to cousin Brenda and Vanessa, but I'm here. So again, thanks you guys for being on. Our conversation tonight is going to be based on sellouts. You know, have they been misunderstood? You know, a lot of people don't really understand what a sellout is. Everybody has their own understanding of what a sellout is. You know, sellout, Uncle Tom's. They got different names for them in different generations. You know, but I believe what I've been, my comprehension, I should say, of what people consider sellouts are those that, for whatever reason, they seem to stop dealing with their race like a lot of people deal with their race. Give you an example. You can have a person that decides that they wanted to be a musician, a songwriter, or whatever, you know, and then they're writing music they all of a sudden start writing pop music. Some people think that that's a sellout. You know, I don't know why people would think that. Hey, what's going on, Cuzzo? I was wondering if y'all was gonna show up. We live.
I'm so sorry, man. I was working and
Yeah, I know. Time got away from me.
I looked up. It said 8:01.
Yeah.
What are other people at?
Well, Will was trying to get on, but I think he was having some technical difficulties. He kept falling off. We know Kim is her birthday, so I don't think she's going to be on.
I know.
You know.
Okay.
And, I don't know what's going on, but our conversation tonight is on sellouts. What would be your understanding of what a sellout is?
Somebody that's, I mean, I even looked it up. Let me see. To accuse somebody that's betraying a cause or a group or their own values for personal gain, often money or advancement.
Right. You know, it's like when you was coming on, I was
betraying
their race, like, right? Or their group.
Or whoever, like whatever. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a number of things.
Or it could be even a family member, you know, that's a group, you know, the family. And if somebody betrays the family in some way or another.
Right.
To give you an example, let's say if the Watsons had a restaurant and all of a sudden somebody from the family decided that they wanted to go work for MacArthur's.
Right. Yeah. Kind of like that.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that person.
So it's like we got a restaurant, but you want to go work for another restaurant. You going to against us, you know, kind of.
Yeah. They would consider that person a sellout. You know what I'm saying? He's selling out the family, or some people even consider sellouts to the race, the black race, when black men or black women date outside of the race. Even though,
you mean like dating outside of the race,
marriage, all that, you know, you know, Shannon Sharp is in the news right now.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know much about that.
I don't either, you know, but some people consider that a sellout. You know, dating and marrying outside of your race.
But he's not married. Is he married outside of his race?
No, I don't think he's married at all.
Oh, okay.
But like Tiger Woods, you don't, excuse me, you don't never see him with no black woman, And it's
so is he a sellout, or is that just a preference? Why does he have to be called a sellout?
Because there's some beautiful, intelligent black women that could be his wife or his girlfriend or whatever, but for whatever reason, he decided to take all of his wealth and give it to another race.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe it wasn't that he decided to take his wealth. Maybe he grew up different or whatever, and he liked white women. And he likes them. That's his preference.
I understand that. But we don't
care. People would call him a sellout, but that's his preference. It's like, huh?
That's what I'm saying.
You say what?
People don't care. Can you hear me?
Right, but that doesn't make him a sellout. That's just what people call him. People can't make you be what they call you.
Well, I think the term is based on not the person that's being called the term. It's based on the people that's calling him that. They're the one that define whether you're a sellout or not. You can't say, "Well, I'm not a sellout."
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and then you won't be, but they can call you that. I mean, but that's just like when people talk about, like, some people say I say too many spiritual things. What I'm gonna do?
But I mean, stop.
What's the difference?
That's a preference, but you're not betraying your race or your group or your organization when you do that.
Okay, I don't know. I had this discussion with Will a little bit ago about sellouts, and I guess I'm like the mediator. I'm in the middle. I don't call them sellouts because they prefer. I mean, if I see an athlete or somebody with a lot of money, and like you said, their only preference is another race, I feel some sort of way, but I couldn't. I mean, if I only like black men. I mean, I can't see going outside my race. That doesn't make me any better than the black woman who goes outside her race. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't. I won't call my sister out because she does. I just prefer black men. I used to then like lighter skinned men. So what was I then? They had to be black as black, blacker than black.
What's going on, Nestle? Can you hear us?
Hey, Vanessa.
Hey, how are you all?
Oh, okay.
Good. How are you?
Sorry, I was having some difficulties.
Oh, yeah, it's going around. Will's having them too, so I don't know what's happening.
Right, I just got on.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we messing up the Thursday night.
Hey, but I'll do that at the end. But we were talking about sellouts, and Brenda had gave a definition that deals with people kind of betraying their group or the organization or their race or
their cause,
betraying the cause. Mm-hmm. That's kind of the basic definition for sellout. That a person.
Well, it says they do it for personal gain or often money or advancement. So that kind of changes it a little bit, right? Personal gain or advancement.
Yeah, it's kind of like the example that I gave. You wasn't here, Vanessa, but I said if the Watson family had a family restaurant, and somebody in the family decided they wanted to go work for the MacArthurs, that person would be betraying the group, the family, going to,
see that.
And so that person would be, according to the family, that person would be considered a sellout, especially if MacArthur's, you said, Brenda, is going to pay them more money, and then especially if they take some of the recipes with them to MacArthur's.
Yeah, That's worse than a sellout to me, but okay.
Right.
Yeah.
That's like a traitor.
I bet a lot of people don't think about that. I bet a lot of people don't think about that when they're, I mean, maybe business-minded people, when they have a restaurant and they have certain recipes, maybe they do have some kind of contractual thing, so that if you leave, you can't go and take our recipes to another place. But I bet you it's some people who don't have that in place. Yes.
Right.
Yeah, that would be real bad. Yeah.
I mean, does it really translate into like we were talking about black men or women that date outside their race? Is that selling out? Brenda says she kind of, Brenda called it preference.
Yeah, I think so. Right.
But we don't, black folks don't care. You better preference.
But it's so many black folks that's doing that. It's so many black folks that's dating outside their race. So,
but you know what? That's I don't really. The only reason I look at that now because you can. There was a time when you couldn't.
What you mean? Yeah, they got killed for it.
You couldn't date outside your race. You see what I'm saying?
But people still did it. People still did it.
And they got killed for it. They died.
No, I'm not a direct product of that, but down my family line. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of us.
Well,
a lot of us probably don't know it, but yeah, some of them lighter skinned people with that good hair.
Well, you know what they say: if you shake a black family tree, some white man gonna fall out.
That's for sure.
Well,
hey,
but it was a white woman, but yeah.
I was just gonna say that. Was that you that gave us a thing? Or we saw something where white women used to have the black man tied up, like that was they owned him. Hey, I saw that. So hey, not necessarily so the white man.
But are we selling out? Well, I shouldn't say we, because I got my wife is a black woman. But our black men,
my preference is a black man, so I get it.
Yeah, but are we? Let me look at it like this. I'm gonna give you another scenario. You got a black person. Well, I use you, Brenda. Just use you as an example. You have a business.
Yes.
Right, Brenda?
Yes.
Hello?
You can't hear me?
No. Oh, I hear you now.
I said yes. Oh, okay. I don't know what happened. Everything's on.
Okay. But you have a business.
Clearly, Brenda.
Okay. And so now in your business, you're trying to get people to support you. And you kind of expect, we would expect your family, your loved ones, your friends, associates, things like that. You expect them to support you in your business.
Yeah.
Now, if they don't support you, would you be wrong all of a sudden now, because whatever the product that you were creating and things like that, let's say, I'm gonna just use this example. You don't do this. Let's say you have a hot sauce, a homemade hot sauce that you produce that's pretty good, that people like.
Okay.
You selling your hot sauce for $10 a bottle. I'm just making this up, right?
Okay.
You can't get 10 people to buy your hot sauce. Your friends and your family.
10 people from my family? Okay.
And your friends. You barely getting 9. Let's say you got 9 people out of the hundreds of people that you know that's in your family and things of that nature. Now, all of a sudden, an opportunity opens up where your hot sauce was recognized by the Walgreens company or organization.
Okay.
And they decide they're gonna pay you some nice money to put your hot sauce in Walgreens, and you selling your hot sauce in Walgreens, and you making nice money. Now you can buy you a home somewhere in this, that, another. You move out of the neighborhood. You doing great now. Your hot sauce is in not only in Walgreens, but it's in
Walmart,
Walmarts, and all them other Target and all them other places, right? And you doing real good, you know. And now your people, they looking at you like, oh, you think you better than us? Oh, Brenda a sellout. She just sold out to the white people. She got her hot sauce in the white
they
store.
couldn't say that though.
Why can't they?
They couldn't say that though. I mean, it's just like us
thinking that is jealous.
Right, because no, that's not like the sellout, because like you said earlier, they weren't buying it. So it wasn't like I just took it from them and didn't sell it to them and just went, somewhere else. They weren't buying it anyway. So yeah, that's like what Vanessa said. That would be some sort of hating on me because I done spread it out. Because no, they weren't buying it. I didn't sell out. I tried, to get my family and stuff to get it. But now, if you had not said that it was going to Walmart and Walgreens, I would have been saying I have to rethink my recipe because that means nobody likes it, And then,
right.
And that could happen because everybody's not going to like the same brand of something, even in Walmart or Walgreens. Some people might not like my brand of hot sauce, but I have felt like that just a little bit before, because I make things that like I make wedding invitations and wedding favors and things like that, right? And yeah, your people know you, and then they go and they order wedding invitations from somewhere and they do that. But just a little bit. I haven't gotten, I have never been like beat down, hurt, like, they ordered from them, they don't get from me, I haven't done that. But I felt a little bit of a like I make wedding invitations, but a lot of my family does support me. So, I'm kind of grateful, but no, I wouldn't call myself a sellout if I.
You would never.
And they would say for the money, right?
But I don't think that there's anybody that calls themselves a sellout. They are called sellouts, and I think what this conversation is about is why. Why do people call other people sellouts?
Okay. Okay.
Or and based on the question, is have they been misunderstood? You see what I'm saying? It's like, I mean, even let's look at entertainers. A lot of people will call a entertainer a sellout because they don't, quote unquote, give back to the community. They live next to white people. They got mansions out in the suburb. They moved out of the city that they was raised in. So and so is a sellout. He could be doing, or she could be doing more for their people. But are the people really supporting them? I mean, we don't look at it the other way around. It's like,
right.
When a person was struggling trying to sell their CDs or their records out of their car or whatever, because I see artists out there standing on the by the expressway or even by the L's or whatever, trying to sell their CDs, to people.
Right.
And don't nobody know them. And I know personally me, if I don't know you and I've never heard your music, there's no way I'm gonna spend my money on your CD. But I'm sure that there are people that like, say, friends, family, this and that and another, that ain't supporting that dude. But then if some record promoter all of a sudden hear his song and he blow up, that same person that wouldn't buy his CD, is gonna be pissed now because he might be feeling some kind of way and he won't give them tickets to his concert. He ain't gonna, you got to pay for your tickets and this, and that, and another. So is this sellout, this thing that we're calling sellout, are there some people that are legitimately sellouts? Dan was talking about Shannon Sharp. I don't know if, well, he's accused of messing around with a young 19-year-old white girl.
Right.
I don't know if that's considered sellout or just stupid.
Right. Because it seems like everybody that I heard talk about it, which was just very little, was what it seemed like they were only concerned about that the girl was white, more so than that the girl was young. To me, when I heard it, it's like, okay, so they worried about that. They kept saying something about why he playing with the snow. I took that as because she was white. I'm not sure if they meant that, but but what the problem was to me, he 50 some years old, and the girl was like 20 or 21 or something like that. I mean, and 19. I know she's grown. Okay, 19. Okay. Well, I heard that it started when she was 19, and then it was the sexual talk or something that went on that made it bad. But everybody I heard kept on saying why he was messing with the white girl. Why was he messing with a young girl? Why was he being sexually exploitive with a girl, period, at 50 something, that big age difference? That was my thing. So I don't know, were they calling him a sellout because he was the white girl thing? I'm not sure.
Well, he was dealing with white women before her.
Okay. See, okay, so
he ain't never dealt with no black woman.
Not that I know of. Okay. Okay, so it wasn't just okay.
And so he has history, of dating outside of his race, and then
maybe he just don't like her.
Maybe he's had bad experiences with black women. I don't know.
Right.
But does that qualify him now to be called a sellout?
Well, it sounds to me in this conversation that it's not even up to, it's the people and what they think is a sellout. And it seems like if they think it, then that's what it is to them, and then nothing else matters, because the person who's doing whatever they call a sellout ain't giving a daggone, about what they think. Because if they did, but I guess there's actual sellouts. I'm sure there are. You see movies where somebody, maybe like, let's say, I don't know if this is a good example, but like the police thing, when the police become corrupt or bad, and are they selling out when they're like they supposed to arrest the drug dealers, but now they got a plan with the drug dealers, and they're doing things and letting them get away with selling drugs in our community. You know what I'm saying? Now,
and taking a payout,
I would call, taking payouts, and I would call them real sellouts. I mean, that's bad. They're hurting our community. If I sell my stuff and get paid more money for it than my family was, attempting to give me, like I said earlier, I wouldn't call myself a sellout. If they did, that's on them. But I don't think I would be hurting them, right? I wouldn't be hurting them.
Well, let's look at it like this. Let's say if you were very successful.
Yeah.
That money now goes outside of your race because you decided to mess with another race. To giving you an example.
No, I'm going to Walgreens. I'm going to Walgreens and Walmart. They all racist.
No, I'm not talking about your product now. I'm just talking about your dating habits.
Oh, okay.
If you're dating outside of your race, then whatever wealth that you accumulate over the years, you share that now with this other race. Because if something happens to you, who's in charge of everything you got? Unless you have a living will that's going to stipulate, well, when I want this to go to this person, I want this person to be in charge of this and this and then another. Unless you have something like that, your husband is the one who has control. Not your mother, not your auntie, not your brothers, your sisters, none of them. Your children, they ain't got no say.
Yeah, well, I think that I just feel that if we're Black and you prefer dating outside your race, you can do that. I just think that you would prepare or know to leave something if you have children and they're Black, or you have a mother or somebody to leave stuff to. I would just think that we do all, I think that even Black people who date outside their race and really love the other race still they have ties to their Black people. I just don't choose to not believe that they will totally cut off their race unless their race cuts them off for dating the outside their race. I just can't see it. I just think that you would leave something to your people behind. That's just me. I don't know. I can't imagine that you would just totally do that.
That's only if you have the forethought to plan, to plan for something like that.
Right.
But other than that, if you marry a Hispanic man and something happens to you, that Hispanic brother is going to have control. If you are worth $250 million, guess who has control over the $250 million?
I think when a person has that much money, then I think they do plan. I just can't see a person having that much money with no plan, just letting their husband have everything. I just can't imagine it. Now, we can talk about it if you want to, but I'm stuck right there.
All right. Well, let me ask you a question then.
People with money who don't have living wills, or the wills are never found supposedly, and the money just goes wherever to whoever. So
I was about to say,
possible. And then some people are hung up on the thought that I'm too young to die. Like, people still believe that.
I mean, look at Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson has what is it called? An estate, right?
Mm-hmm.
When he died, all his money went to his estate. But there's a white man that's in charge of his estate, not his mama. His mama got to go to this white man to get money. You see what I'm saying? His Beatles catalog got sold by the white man because he had control over his estate. So this is the stuff I'm saying. It's like but even though Michael Jackson is not a sellout, but some people could think that by saying, why would he put a white man over his estate? Because he can't trust Black people?
Kobe. Yolanda said Kobe didn't. Good point.
That's true.
He was Black. Oh, and he married outside his race too, didn't he? He did.
I mean, and that seemed a little harsh because, his parents were out on the streets here. So, it was more to that part too, but still, at some point, grace, you have to have some grace. And it didn't seem like she had much for his family. And I don't believe that if he was still alive, regardless of the relationship they had, he would have allowed some of that stuff to go on with his family.
Well, we can't say that because he actually didn't allow nothing for them when he was here. I mean, so.
But they weren't piss poor. They weren't almost like,
So you're saying they weren't piss poor when he was here? You're saying he took care of them or something?
But they were on the verge of like being homeless almost, and she wouldn't do anything about it.
Okay, so why was that? Why were they on the verge of that? That's what I'm saying. Do we know if he was taking?
I don't know. I I can't tell you why, because it wasn't me. I can't tell you what they did with the money or how they may have mismanaged, if that's what happened, or they may have just been out. But I'm thinking your average person, regardless of what type of relationship you had with your parents, they aren't going to allow their parents to be out on the street at an old age. Come on now. I can't believe I wasn't a Kobe fan. I'm not going to lie about that. I was not a Kobe fan, but I don't believe that Kobe would have done his parents dirty like that.
Not seeing him on the street like that. He would have, yeah. I would think, yeah, something would have been done by Kobe to keep his parents off the street. I do believe that. But I think that kind of proves
merchandise to live, you know. And this girl is out here living good.
But that kind of serves.
I mean, but y'all saying that about Kobe, but in reality, Kobe must didn't do anything to think about them in case something happened to him. If he cared so much about them,
I bet you anything he didn't think he was going to die.
Okay, all right. So then that's a lot of ignorance involved too. Then that's kind of an ignorance on a person's part.
But there's so many people out here like that. I'm not X amount of age. I still have time. Everyone thinks they have time until they don't.
But not just playing the devil's advocate. What if he had married a black woman and she did the same thing?
Shame on her too. Shame on her too. When it comes
to, what I'm saying?
Yeah, shame on her too. It wouldn't be a black-white thing.
You know, so I don't know.
That's what I was saying earlier. It's not because the person's white. I mean, it's the thing that's done. That's the sellout. The meaning of the sellout is not. I mean, well, yeah, I guess a lot of people do use race, but we use race for a whole lot of things, you know. But there are really literally some black girl who prefers white men over black men. There's some black men who really prefers, and they probably ain't got no money, ain't leaving nothing, but that's who they prefer. I'm sure that happens more than we know. I mean, you know.
But Yolanda's saying like that all that money went outside of our race. All that Kobe money is outside of our race. Why is it that whenever one of us gets to a point in our lives where we're financially in a position where we're well off, that we don't, well, I'm not, because this is not everybody, but a lot of us seem to all of a sudden decide that they want to be with somebody else other than their own race. Now, I also know this much: in college, a lot of athletes and even entertainers in school or whatever, they are targeted by other races. I know this for a fact. I was a musician playing in clubs and things of that nature, and I had plenty of white women trying to get at a brother, and I see them getting at other individuals too. Now, my point is that let's look at what's her name? Oh my God! Because I mean, this happens all the time. Now, I was just watching a thing about Michael Jordan, right? Michael Jordan's wife was black, but something went down with them, and now Michael flipped the script.
Yeah.
He don't even deal with black women no more. After his wife, he just went straight white. You know, so now if something happens, now I don't think he married this woman. I'm not sure. So I can't be specific and say, but if he did marry,
he's married again, but we don't know if he didn't date
black women. I heard that he was married again too. I think he is married to a white girl. I think he is.
White woman, exactly.
I think so.
Well, she's not per se white. She's I is she from South America? Something like that. She's kind of like Hispanic or something to that effect. Yeah. So she's not like European white.
Well, I was told this. If you can't run a pick through her hair, she white.
No, because there's some black girls you can't run a pick through their hair.
Throw some water in that. Throw some water in that hair. I bet you can.
And then the water will make it just as straighter and you feel okay.
It might be fine and curl up. White doesn't have
right. No, that's not true. No, man, that's not true.
If she can't use your comb, don't bring her home.
Oh my God, where that come? Did you just make that up?
No, it's a song out. It's a song back in the 80s.
It's a song out.
It's a rap song. Yeah, if you can't use your comb, don't bring her home.
No, my mama used to say that. My mother used to say that.
Your mother, oh, come on, y'all. I never heard that before.
My mother used to tell my brother that don't bring no other woman to this house that don't look like us. And she used to be like, if she can't use my comb, don't bring her home.
Oh,
old school saying.
For real. You know, so it don't really matter what because her skin complexion, because we got all different shades of black now. You know, you even got black people that look straight up white features and everything. But
yeah, in the South a long time ago, remember they passed. It was white. It was black people that passed. That's white. Remember? Well, that exactly. We know why that was though. Their daddies was white.
Their mamas was raped. That's what it was by the
right. You're right.
You know,
right.
But yeah. Ooh, but I mean, does that then? I mean, just because if Michael Jordan got a white wife now, if something happens to him and he dies, that white woman has control of all of his millions.
No, I bet you, Juanita. Oh no, I don't believe that. No.
I think Mike will have it did out. I think Mike is one of those wheel type of guys. And I think that comes
because he got kids. Yeah. He got kids by his wife. And I just can't see him just throwing that away. No. We have to use somebody else for that one.
I can't see divorce. He saw how things could go with money, even if you have things in place. So I think Mike is the type of brother that's going to make sure his money goes where he wants it to go in depth.
I mean, I think you got to take care of the person that you're with too. But that would just be beyond ignorant to not leave your first wife and kids, and I mean, at least the kids or something. I don't know. I think after a certain many years you're married, the wife gets something anyway. I mean, yeah, she's gonna get some of his stuff anyway. It's something about being married a certain amount of years. So,
well, that might be a pension related stuff, but not just
his Social Security or whatever, something.
Yes, no.
But Vanessa, help us out here. We were talking about this earlier for this last little 20 minutes. What's this Shannon Sharpe thing? I know y'all was talking.
What it is a mess. What it is a mess, and I feel like Shannon Sharpe knows who he is. No one has to tell him this, so he knows he's a sitting target. I don't care. I don't know what it is with black men sometimes. It's something about just being able to get a piece of a white woman or some other type of woman. They feel like, I don't want to say they're exotic, but it's some type of thing that goes off in their heads. Like, and it may be the same for some black women, but you rarely see rich black women dating outside their race. To the extent that you see black men do it. But I feel like he knew better. And then it's not only that, like, dude, if this girl is 19, did you just start dealing with her since she's been 19? Because, you know, when we think about a 50 plus man dealing with a 19-year-old, that doesn't sit right with anyone. And as a mother, I could tell you now, Shannon, black, white, or any other color, couldn't have came in my house with my 19-year-old. So is this like you're meeting up in secret? But the text messages that he released were a little kind of disturbing too. Like, okay, that's some weird ass role playing, since he wanted to say they do a lot of role playing. Like, she's talking about when you put this big black baby in me and all that. Hold on. If I'm a black woman, I don't want no white man telling me, let me put this big white da-da-da in you and give you. I don't, because it's a thin line. And like I said, I feel like he's a sitting target anyway. And from what he's saying, he's trying to say, well, you know, we role play like this. And a lot of times she wants me to say stuff like, I'm going to choke you. Or she likes to say, stop choking me, daddy, and all of that weird stuff. But, okay, you let her do it. And you know, from everything that goes on when people start manipulating tapes and stuff, you better be on that tape saying, nah, baby, give it to you. Better come back with something to let me know that if I'm listening to this tape, especially in a jury, I need to hear something coming after that let me know that you are role playing, because people lie all the time.
So what was the big thing? What was the main thing of that though? Because I don't know. What was why is this in the news? What was the main, just the one point, what was the main point of this whole thing?
Because now she's saying that she was sexually abused by him. She sued him for $50 million, saying she was sexually abused.
And that's why Bam said $50 million.
And you know, recently he had $100 million contract or something that he just got. So yeah, now you won't have. But to me, when you start having role playing and all you keep talking about is put this big black baby in me, that's beyond role playing. That's telling me I better wrap up double tight, or maybe I just need to walk away from this, you know, because something wasn't right in the Kool-Aid.
Now, how all this stuff get into a recording, and he knew about it?
Right.
Well, he released pictures that supposedly were their text messages.
Who released it? He did?
Once people started talking about the lawsuit, he said, whoa, hold up. These are the text messages. So he put the text messages out there. And that's why people are so weirded out about everything. Because, dude, you're talking to a 19-year-old white woman like this in 2025 America or 2024 America. Like, it's almost like going back to the 50s and 60s, dealing with black versus white right now. So, yeah, Shannon need his ass whooped.
He thought that the text message was, he thought that they would prove that he wasn't, that he didn't do something. That's what he thought.
Right. He figured that would show that they role play like this all the time.
Oh, okay. Because she said stuff back.
You know, they're only going to give you so much. So we still don't know, like, what evidence she's coming with versus what he's coming with.
Wow. Sounds to me like he just a dumb MF. Just dumb as hell.
He sounded like he's not the sharpest crayon in the box now, right about now. And I kind of thought more of him, but you just
Miss Yolanda said that he got the same lawyers that went after Jay-Z. Is that a good thing for him?
I don't know. I don't know who. I mean,
went
after Jay-Z for what? I don't know. See, a lot of this stuff, I'm in the dark on.
I don't get off into this, but this just weirded me out so bad when I started reading those things and knowing she was 19 years old. Because if she's 19 now, I don't know if she's 19 now or was 19 when all of this happened. Because
that's what I heard.
About a 2-year span.
Right, so I heard that. Yeah,
if he was underage, that's going to be another issue. But like I said, I don't know because I didn't dig into it because I don't care. I really don't. I just pray that he gets out of this and everything. And like, when the black men gonna learn? That's all I'm thinking. When are you all gonna learn?
Well, I mean, could this be retribution for having Cat Williams on his platform? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
setting him up.
It could be anything. It could be anything.
Oh my God.
We see
so that
right
is Cat Williams. That means Cat Williams will sell out.
No.
When you're in a certain business, when you start talking against people or saying things that they don't want you to say or don't like, they do start doing stuff to you. So you just never know.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. But Yolanda broke into the room trying to talk to me.
And then you had to tell us.
We got to get her on the screen so she could say everything.
No. Can you imagine her on here? Can you imagine her on here?
No.
Yeah, I can.
She'll be on here. She'll be on here like. No. Well, maybe so, because maybe sometimes I do that. Maybe she can. I don't.
Sometimes, Brenda.
You got a lot of nerves. You and Kim got a lot of nerves.
Hey, Tyrone, what do you always say? A hit dog will holler.
Right.
Shut up. That's just something he say. It's just like the people that call people sellouts. Who cares?
Because at the end of the day, look, when you said I got a lot of nerve, you didn't hear me respond to anything because I know when I get started, I get started.
Yeah, okay. I ain't got no problem. I say what I want to say, Miss Vanessa. Well, we always start some stuff. Okay, go ahead. Come on, Tag. Get us together over here. Hey, Tracy Watson.
We talking about your boy Shannon Sharp.
But see, I don't even know who Shannon Sharp is, guys, at all.
He was a football player. He was a football player. And you don't remember you hearing about Cat Williams came on this show and was busting everybody out? It was Shannon Sharp's show.
I heard about Cat Williams busting everybody out. I guess I didn't know who the guy was, whose show he was on.
Yeah, it was on Shannon Sharp's podcast.
Okay.
Okay. And so,
I heard about Cat Williams.
Right.
And so that means something's gonna happen to Cat Williams. Something gonna happen to Cat Williams next because.
Hey, I don't know.
That seems to be the way of the world.
There are a lot of people that bust people out, but they keep themselves pretty much protected. It's almost kind of like people like him. They have their own cook. They don't go outside eating restaurants. They have people that eat their food before they eat. That kind of stuff. What's that other girl? They be busting people out. Jaguar Wright. Y'all familiar with her? Jaguar. No. She was a singer, and she's always been. She on the P Diddy, Jay-Z. She on all of this stuff, because she's an insider. She used to sing background for Jay-Z and this and that and another, right? And so she knows what's going on, and she's been busting a lot of people out. And she don't live. She got 3 homes, and she secretly moves from one to another, so that people can't know where she's at because she thinks somebody's gonna try to kill her for all the stuff she's been talking about. But
that's scary.
But I mean, it's the world we live in. The scary part is the fact that we live in a world like that, where when you expose powerful people like this, that the retribution is murder. They send some hit squad after you. There was a thing. I don't know if y'all remember it. What did they call it? Swatting. What's it, swatting? Yeah, where they would call the police and have SWAT come to your house what did they call that? I think it's called swatting, where they try.
What was the reason? What was the reason behind it?
It's a false alarm. And then SWAT comes and kick your door in.
Oh.
You know, because say if I didn't like you and you pissed me off or something like that, I would call and say, you know, they're holding children hostage over there on Crystal, you know, and give the address and everything like that, you know, and somebody needs to go over there and take a look at it. Y'all need to send SWAT because they got a basement full of guns and everything. So, you know, and then they send SWAT and come kick your door in, and you sitting there eating dinner. You don't know what the heck going on. They call that swatting, where somebody calls and gives a false report on you or somebody, and then SWAT shows up and kick your door in.
You know,
what'd you say, Vanessa?
1 second. I'm still having these difficulties. 1 second.
Oh.
I can hear you all, but I can't see you right now. So that happened to someone else recently. It was another celebrity. They keep calling, giving false reports on their home.
Oh, that did happen. Was it Kanye? It was somebody like him.
That's not who I'm thinking about, but it was recent, very recent.
No, see, I have never heard that.
Yeah. Oh, yes. It happens more than people think.
Okay, well, I guess I better not ever be a sellout and nobody call and send somebody over to my house. I don't think I have to worry about that.
You said something.
I better not date outside my race.
Yeah, she said people kept telling him to leave the young girls alone. So maybe he's known for dating young women all the time.
Well, I know he's known for dating white women, but I don't know about these young girls. And then plus, don't you remember not too long ago, his cell phone was on and they had a audio recording of him having sex with some woman?
Oh my God. So that means you think the woman did that? Or I mean, that's just so happened that his phone was on doing
it was his phone. It was his phone, you know. I'm just saying, you know. And all this again after the Cat Williams show.
Now you put Cat out there.
Is it a coincidence?
They were saying that he was doing that to get away from the gay rumors because, you know, for a minute the gay rumors were swarming and they said that he did that tape.
Oh,
like he did that on purpose. He said he didn't, but you know, who knows?
14. What? She said Kanye just said.
Oh yeah, that Kanye.
Oh God.
Now
so Kanye was talking about him.
The sellout. Since you're talking about sellouts.
Who?
What?
Kanye? Okay, we got to give closing thoughts. I guess Vanessa gonna talk on Kanye being a sellout.
Oh my God, no.
A lot of people feel like that. They feel like he lost himself in the white women, but who knows? Because it may be something deeper with Kanye. But yeah, what Yolanda said is true. He just released that on Truth Social, and now everybody's in an uproar about him saying that. But some people think he's doing it for publicity just to get some, you know, get his name out there.
Oh, Lord. I'm not going to even read Yolanda's last thing. Okay. I'll give my closing thought.
Oh my
God. We don't want to talk about that, Yolanda.
No. I'm going to give my closing thought. My closing thought is I don't think of, and I know it doesn't matter that if I don't think of myself or as a sellout, but I don't even think that people who do what they really want to do, if they're really doing it because they like people of the opposite race, or because their people didn't support them for whatever reason, and other people call them a sellout, then that's on the other people and that's their fault. And people tend to do what they want to do and what they got to do, because sometimes you got to go outside your people. Your people don't always support you. They don't. So.
I agree.
That's my closing thought.
I agree too, Brenda. You know, I really do think that sellout is a term almost like anti-Semite, and how people use it, you know, as a whipping stick, like to kind of beat people into submission. You know, I've always heard people, and it's usually people of the Jewish race that calls somebody else, almost like how the Jews do Minister Farrakhan. They call him an anti-Semite, but Semite means black. You know, so how can
so
you
they
be
say he's against black? Anti, yeah, okay.
You know, how can you, as a black person, be anti-Semite, and then how can a Jewish person that ain't black use it on a black person? You know, and it just drives me crazy. But they using it as a whipping stick to try to, you know, beat him back into submission. So sellout, I believe, is just another term that people use in order to get people back in line. If you ain't,
now that answers that. Yes, I believe that too. Yeah. That answers that for me. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and I just think. And one of the reasons I wanted to have this discussion is because I think people need to understand that you just can't throw a term out at a person. There's no proof. There's nothing. I mean, it's nothing that has any validity in it that says that you a sellout or you are anti-Semite, you are this or you are that. You know, and you just throw it out there, and people just say, "Oh my God," you know. I can't see it. So that's my closing thought. I don't go along with it. Vanessa, what's your closing thought?
Well, for me, I believe that people are always going to view someone as a sellout if they aren't giving them what they want, or if you decide, hey, okay, this is who supports me, so I may cater.
Okay.
Oh, you back?
This computer today. Yeah. So I just think we got to get past what's a sellout, who's a sellout, because you either are going to support or you aren't. You're going to be in my corner or you aren't. What is that? Okay, that's weird. I don't know what that was, but yeah, so for me, what I always say, do you? Because at the end of the day, everyone wants to judge somebody. And like my mama used to say, they judge Jesus. So who are you?
Amen.
Right.
Amen. All right, guys. Thank you all for being here.
Hallelujah.
I really appreciate y'all comments, your thoughts, because you know we're thinking for a change here. So until next Thursday,
we may have to do a show on that. About who's really Jewish and who.
Oh, the anti-Semite thing. Oh yes.
Oh my God.
We may need to talk about that for real.
That is true. Somebody said something about it. Who's this? Oh, Peace.
All right. It's almost like the Jesus that we see. That wasn't the Jesus that was, but okay.
Yeah.
All right. I guess. Okay, I'll pray about that one. Okay, thank you so very much for having me.
All right, until next week, y'all. We out of here.
Peace out. All right, bye-bye.
Thanks for supporting our podcast. We look forward to see you next Thursday at 8 p.m. We also ask that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. The more subscribers we have, the more YouTube will push our podcast to more viewers. But until then, subscribe also for a peaceful mind. Your activity will reflect that peace.